Mount St. Helens.
Mount St. Helens.
Mount St. Helens.
St. Helens in recent days.
It's this eruption from 1980 that many people remember.
I was awed by what I was seeing. We could see this tremendous eruption column and all the energy that there must be in it.
Mount St. Helens, long remembered for its cataclysmic eruption in 1980, has once again captured the attention of scientists and the public alike in 2025. This time, the story is not only about destruction, but also about the surprising resurgence of life and the revolutionary scientific discoveries being made in its shadow. In recent months, the volcano has shown significant signs of seismic unrest, leading to a surge in scientific investigation and speculation. The increase in earthquake activity has prompted volcanologists to re-examine long-held assumptions about how Mount St. Helens functions beneath its surface. More than 100 quakes have been recorded over just a few weeks, and what makes these tremors unusual is their distribution and pattern. Unlike traditional foreshocks, which tend to cluster beneath the summit, this seismic swarm spread outward, mapping previously undetected fissures and fault lines. Using cutting-edge technology, including ground-penetrating radar and improved satellite imaging systems, researchers have been able to see into the volcano's structure like never before. This breakthrough has led to the identification of what scientists are calling an earthquake tapestry, a branching network of seismic activity that aligns with the movement of magma through the crust. This network reveals that the traditional model of a single vertical magma conduit feeding the volcano is outdated. Instead, multiple magma pockets exist beneath the surface, each potentially connected to others by underground pathways. These magma reservoirs pose a new kind of threat, as they increase the possibility of eruptions emerging from unexpected locations, including areas near major infrastructure like highways and visitor centers. The implications of these findings extend beyond geological theory into the realm of public safety and urban planning. Emergency response plans are being revised and monitoring systems recalibrated to factor in the new risk matrix. Volcanologists stress that while a major eruption is not guaranteed, the dynamic behavior of Mount St. Helens must be taken seriously. Every tremor is now analyzed not just for magnitude, but also for its alignment within the newly mapped subterranean web. A cascade of simultaneous eruptions from several satellite vents is now considered a plausible scenario, which would exponentially increase the complexity of any disaster response. While the geological activity of Mount St. Helens in 2025 has created a sense of urgency, it has also provided an unparalleled opportunity for scientific advancement. One of the most compelling developments is the dramatic return of life to the once devastated landscape. Following the 1980 eruption, the area surrounding the volcano was rendered lifeless, a gray wasteland devoid of birds, insects, and vegetation. Over time, small signs of life began to reappear, but the pace and extent of recovery astonished even the most optimistic ecologists. By 2013, around 137 species had been recorded in the area. In 2025, that number has surpassed 200, excluding microorganisms and newly identified fungi. Wildlife cameras and tracking devices have documented a vibrant resurgence of animal activity. Red foxes are now a common sight, foraging confidently in fields that were once covered in ash. Bobcats have been observed hunting at forest edges, and black bears have returned to forage among the berry patches that have sprung up in sheltered gullies. The skies above the mountain are again filled with the calls of bald eagles and ospreys, apex predators that signal the restoration of a functioning food chain. These predators, which require expansive and stable ecosystems to thrive, are clear indicators of the biological progress achieved in the area. This rapid resurgence is not confined to animals. Plants have shown equally remarkable adaptability. Lupins, which were among the first flowers to reappear after the eruption, now bloom earlier than before, taking advantage of the short growing season. Mosses have developed deeper anchoring systems, helping them survive in loose, shifting soil. Lichens have spread across lava rocks in new and unusual combinations, many of which are not found elsewhere in North America. These changes suggest a dynamic, evolving ecosystem that is responding in real time to altered environmental conditions. Amphibians, particularly salamanders, have adapted to the ash-laden water chemistry by modifying breeding cycles and skin permeability. This points to a larger trend of ecological adaptation, where organisms are not only surviving, but evolving to thrive in their new reality. The presence of over 150 new lakes and wetlands formed in the voids left by the eruption has provided unexpected habitats for a wide range of aquatic life. These water bodies, created by a combination of topographical changes and seasonal runoff, now host trout, algae blooms, and dense insect populations. Interestingly, many of these species were not deliberately reintroduced, but arrived through natural means, such as wind dispersion or transport by birds. This natural recolonization underscores the resilience and unpredictability of ecosystems. What was once considered a scientific anomaly is now viewed as a living, breathing example of ecological succession in hyperdrive. The processes typically studied over centuries are unfolding within a single human generation, providing an unprecedented opportunity for field research. Mount St. Helens has become a natural laboratory where the intersection of geology and biology offers vital clues about how life responds to extreme change. The forest regrowth across the blast zone offers yet another layer of insight into how ecosystems recover from catastrophic events. Prior to the 1980 eruption, the region was known for its dense, dense, old-growth forests. These ancient trees were wiped out in seconds, reduced to stumps and buried under volcanic debris. The rebirth of the forest since then has not been a simple matter of tree seedlings returning. Instead, what has emerged is a new kind of forest, one shaped by unique soil conditions, altered climate patterns, and unplanned species migration. Drone-assisted vegetation surveys have mapped an entirely new kind of forest growth. In some areas, conifer stands have taken root between the fallen remains of their predecessors. These trees exhibit unusually high photosynthesis rates, likely aided by volcanic soils that are rich in minerals. Fungal networks underground appear to be playing a crucial role in this regrowth, facilitating nutrient exchange between plants and helping new species establish themselves. Insect life, often a sign of ecological maturity, is flourishing on the ashy slopes. Butterflies, bees, and beetles, once wiped out entirely, now populate the area in increasing numbers. Despite these positive signs, not all species have returned. Some flora that depended heavily on the deep shade and stable moisture levels provided by the old forest canopy are now absent. They have been replaced by hardier, more adaptable species from outside the region. This shift marks a permanent transformation of the local ecosystem. The new forest is not a recreation of the old, it is an entirely different biome, forged in the crucible of disaster. This change serves as a powerful reminder that recovery is not always a return to the past, but the creation of something altogether new. Adding to the complexity and richness of this environment are the water systems that now crisscross the landscape. The eruption altered the topography so dramatically that low-lying areas became natural basins for water collection. Rainfall and snowmelt filled these depressions, creating lakes, ponds, and wetlands where none existed before. Remote sensing technology now confirms the presence of more than 150 such bodies of water, ranging from shallow marshes to deeper, more permanent lakes. These aquatic habitats are anything but barren. Fish species like trout have taken hold, either introduced accidentally or carried by birds. Insect populations, including dragonflies and midges, swarm the lakes in seasonal cycles. Algae blooms indicate a nutrient-rich environment capable of supporting complex food chains. These systems have evolved without human interference, showcasing how quickly nature can fill a void when conditions are right. Each lake or pond acts as a microcosm of adaptation and evolution, providing invaluable data for limnologists and ecologists alike. These findings have transformed Mount St. Helens into a hub of scientific activity. Researchers from various disciplines are converging on the volcano to study everything from seismic behavior to species adaptation. The tools at their disposal have never been more advanced. Satellite imaging, drone mapping, and portable environmental sensors allow for detailed data collection on an almost minute-by-minute basis. This influx of technology has enabled real-time analysis and rapid dissemination of findings, accelerating the pace of discovery. Moreover, the volcano is reshaping how scientists think about resilience and regeneration. Traditional models of ecological recovery often assume a slow, linear progression. What is happening at Mount St. Helens defies those expectations. The ecosystem is not only rebuilding itself, but doing so in new and unpredictable ways. The speed and diversity of the recovery challenge assumptions about the limits of biological resilience. They also raise questions about how other ecosystems might respond to future cataclysmic events, particularly those driven by climate change. This knowledge has implications far beyond Washington State. As global temperatures rise and extreme weather events become more common, the lessons learned at Mount St. Helens may prove crucial for managing ecological responses elsewhere. Whether it's forest fires in Australia, volcanic activity in Iceland, or hurricanes in the Caribbean, understanding how nature responds to and recovers from devastation can inform conservation strategies, urban planning, and disaster preparedness across the globe. Mount St. Helens has also become a focal point for public education and engagement. Its story is compelling not just because of its dramatic past, but because of the hope it represents. People are visiting the area not only to witness the majesty of a once devastated landscape now teeming with life, but also to learn about the science that makes this possible. Interpretive centers, guided tours, and digital outreach programs are helping to bridge the gap between complex scientific data and public understanding. The convergence of technology, ecology, and geology at Mount St. Helens has made it a symbol of 21st century science. Interdisciplinary, adaptive, and deeply connected to the natural world. It is no longer simply a site of historical tragedy, but a beacon of possibility. What began as a symbol of destruction has become a living testament to nature's ability to recover, adapt, and even flourish in the aftermath of catastrophe. In many ways, the volcano's current state reflects a broader truth about the planet. Cataclysms are not endpoints, they are transformations. While the danger posed by Mount St. Helens is real and must be taken seriously, the opportunities it presents for understanding our world are equally profound. From the depths of its fractured crust to the peaks where birds now soar, every inch of the volcano tells a story of change. That story is still unfolding, and with each tremor, each new species, and each drop of water in a new lake, we are reminded of the power and mystery of the natural world. As scientists continue to monitor and explore Mount St. Helens, their findings are reshaping not only academic disciplines, but also our collective imagination about what recovery means. This volcano, once a symbol of loss, is now a proving ground for the resilience of life and the relentless pursuit of knowledge. It warns, it teaches, and most of all, it inspires. And in the midst of all this, one question lingers with growing urgency. What more lies beneath, waiting to be discovered or unleashed, and how prepared are we for what comes next?